Everybody. I am Jenn, and today I have a very, very special guest. Her name is Bambi Corso-Steinmeyer, but she has also become a friend because we are both coaches who focus in the realm of helping women 50 plus discover their purpose and reinvent themselves in this new life stage of 50 and the next chapter. So today I'm going to showcase Bambi because she has an amazing class that's coming up. And I just want to showcase her and her talents as far as her expertise in dream working goes. So the first thing is I want to introduce the name of your class because the name of the class is amazing. It is Rediscovering You, and I'm kind of reading it, a 4-week journey for women who are ready to reconnect with their inner world and create a life guided from the inside out. And I wanted to ask you, like, how did you come up with that name?
Oh, good question. So the course itself, the name came from my experience not only with myself over the last 6 months to a year, but also so many women that I am meeting right now, Jen, are in a very similar place where they're feeling kind of disconnected from their authentic self. And a lot of times there have been roles that they have been in. We could be, the mother, the partner, the professional, the coworker, whatever it is. And sometimes at this age things are starting to shift and we're not maybe all of these roles anymore, but we have to redefine what we even want to figure out kind of this next phase of life in the 50 plus arena. So the course name is about really finding a way to reconnect and rediscover who we are and who we want to be in this next part of our life. So,
Yeah, that is amazing because I feel like one of my big things is being intentional about who you're becoming.
yeah, and I think too, Jen, we do as women end up taking so much of our life force and spreading it out over so many different people and parts of our life. And when we're in that space, when we start feeling that disconnect, it's very hard to find a way to kind of nourish our own soul or fill our own well unless we take a pause. And so the course is designed to give women permission for 4 weeks to just make some very small shifts in their life that give them the ability to take that pause and really tune in about what they want, what the soul is calling for. And I'm using reflection, dream work, and then soul-centered coaching all together to make this just kind of a gentle process about rediscovering this inner peace, this inner knowing. And so I'm really excited about it. I think we are going to have a really wonderful time doing that because it's it's just delicious when you can start feeding your own soul.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you touched on that because I noticed that when I was looking at your sales page, the quote that you're talking about is need another plan, you need a pause. And I do
Yeah,
feel like in our society it's all results driven. Like, okay, what's your plan? How are you going to accomplish that? And
right.
sometimes it just means being still and going within. It doesn't always mean
Yeah.
actively planning something. So I love that you pointed out that pause because I think that's like
Hmm.
a pivotal thing that women aren't used to pausing for themselves,
Right,
right?
right. Exactly. And we do have a tendency, at least I can say it for myself, a tendency to fill the spaces thinking, oh my gosh, but there's always still so much more to do, you know? And so the idea of, but it's okay if we slow down, it's not a year of a pause. We're just going to take 4 weeks.
Yeah.
We're just going to take a few bites of this and we're going to see how soul responds. And,
Mhm.
because I love it in Atomic Habits. That book talks about even just a 1% shift in trajectory can land you somewhere completely different. If you were in the airplane and you were on your way to Florida and there was a 1%, change in direction, you might end up in Georgia or Louisiana, whatever it is. So they don't have to be huge shifts, but it's like we start building some momentum by taking small steps towards ourselves. And it is really amazing. And it shows up in the dream work how psyche and soul respond to just the tiniest changes.
Yeah, that's so motivating
Yeah.
because a lot of people sometimes you feel like, oh, it's so overwhelming to do this. But I love the idea of the 1%. It's just a tiny little shift and
Yeah.
it could
Yeah.
totally change everything. So that brings us to a great question. So your company is Dream Tracking.
Mhm.
So how did the concept of dream tracking come about? And what role does it play in helping women reconnect with their inner selves?
Great question. So dream tracking actually came to me. I actually woke up. I had always wanted to write a book first. And so I think it was 2002, I woke up knowing the name of the book I wanted to write. And it took me 18 years to get to the point to actually sit down and write the book. So it took another couple of years. So after 20 years, I was able to finally get the book done. The idea with dream tracking is because I've been journaling my dreams since I was 15, Jen. I mean, I have thousands of journals and dreams, but it's given me the ability to notice when there are these threads of something similar moving throughout the dreams. So as I think as we have originally maybe started working on dreams individually, we work on them one at a time. And what I started noticing, and the method that I've created, which is super simple too, is about following these threads throughout dreams as if they are also this ongoing story that is walking beside us in life, right? Symbolically speaking. So it's about tracking the dreams, tracking where we are at in our day-to-day life and finding a way of integrating dream wisdom with waking life and see how each comments on the other to kind of help navigate us in a positive moving direction.
Yeah, that's great. And I love the fact that you said it took you 18 years. Because you know why I love
Mhm.
that is that a lot of women have a dream in their heart that's been there for a long, long time. And and
Yeah.
it's not the fact that it took you that long because life has to line up, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
but I love that you do have a book now. It is there behind you, your dream tracking book, and people can buy that on Amazon, correct?
Right, right, yes.
And so I love seeing that you had a dream and now it is a reality and just giving people the hope that you don't have to
Yeah.
sometimes just like have a dream and accomplish it right away. Sometimes there's journaling and timing and all those different things that come into
Absolutely.
play. And just because someone hasn't done it yet doesn't mean that you can't still do it. And that's why I love helping women 50 plus because it's
Ah,
like giving them the courage that like now is the time that
yeah.
you can live the dream that's been in your heart for who knows how long. And I just love the idea.
You know, yes, I had that dream, but I was also still working in corporate America an unbelievable amount of hours every day for all those 18 years. And I would try to feed the dream, right? The waking dream a little bit by doing little things at night or in the morning before and after work or on the weekends, and still in that momentum of working towards it. But yes, there was also timing, and there was maturing and learning and everything else that filled that 18 years that gave me the ability to finally then do it when I did.
Yeah, I
Um,
love that. And the reflection of it too. It's
mhm.
like looking back and being like, oh, that's why it had to happen in this way.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about dreams because
Okay.
that is your specialty. So,
Yes.
how do you see dreams as a tool for women to discover or rediscover
Mm.
who they are? Like, how do you do that?
Oh, I love that. So there's a few things with dreams that I think might get overseen if we're not quite paying attention. So dreams, number one, they give us a mirror back to ourselves. So when we start paying attention to dreams and we start writing them down, what begins to start happening is we are getting a reflection about where we're at emotionally, spiritually, sometimes physically, mentally. And the dreams provide information that hits us on a very different level than if you and I were just having this conversation and I said, oh, well, I had a dream about, ABC, and we were just talking about it. In dreams, the big shift is, and I love this about dreams, the big shift comes in that in the moment, in the dream, it's a direct experience.
Mhm.
So it's just like when somebody, they try to tell you that, maybe somebody's not good for you, or, you're having a hit on something, right? But if it's not your experience, it's like kids with their parents, right? If it's not your experience, you're like, yeah, forget it. That's not true for me until it's their experience and now they get it. Dreams provide that ability to be in the direct experience because the mind does not know the difference between something that actually happened versus something imagined that happened. And then I'll take that a step further and say, or in a dream that happened.
Yeah.
So they oftentimes the dreams will show us that we're actually really feeling a different way than we think we're feeling, or that we're showing a different face out in the world than the one we're actually feeling. Um, and
That's
they just have this ability to really tap into authentic feelings and emotion. And that's the stuff. So when you're paying attention to dreams and the way that you journal them, matters, and we just start seeing ourselves differently, because we're given a different set of eyes. It's like dreams provide a totally different perspective than the ego waking self.
Mhm.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's awesome. So what can women experience like as a whole? What can women experience as she goes through the course? And
Okay.
how do you guide them to create a life that's led from the inside out? Because I love that. What could they expect?
Yes. Oh, so the first week is going to be about remembering ourselves. And we're going to be doing reflection prompts and discussions and a whole bunch of fun stuff I can't talk about, right? Because it'll be in the
Yeah.
class. But the idea is to start accessing the ways for us to start remembering the who we really are at the core, and reconnect with that piece first, right? That'll be our foundational piece of it. So it's kind of coming home to your inner voice, coming home to your inner knowing. The second week is going to be listening within, and we're going to be speaking about the language of dreams. And I'll be spending a lot more time actually going through how do we work with dreams? Um, how do we start understanding the symbolism? Because dream symbols can be so. I think that that's one of the things that people find so challenging with dream work is not understanding why everything is so bizarre in the dream and what do they do with it, So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to try to make that much easier to digest and apply. So
Mhm.
that part will be fun. Um, Reimagining the next chapter. And again, these are small shifts, Jen. So this is going to be like the beginning of I'm going to start calling myself back first. And this is going to be the groundwork for starting that process of, hopefully, women will continue then to incorporate some of the things that we're going to be doing that help feed them so that they're leading a life that they're also a priority and not everybody else. And then embodying the new is going to be week 4. And it's going to be kind of like the idea of living awake. So, kind of like the play on the dreaming. I mentioned earlier that one of the things that I find so crucial in really effective dream work is to do something in the waking world where you're integrating information from the dream that you then take action on in your waking life. So I'm going to be showing the women how to do that as well. And we're going to be doing dream journaling the entire 4 weeks, or as much as anybody remembers. I did have one woman, and I'll address this here because I think this is a great question. What if I don't dream? And could I still do this and would this still make sense? And the answer is, of course, absolutely yes, because there's still imagination, there's still tuning into other things that you can still use as reflective tools to reconnect to that inner wise woman. So
That's really good.
yeah.
And is it true? Like if you set the intention, like if you're doing a 4-week course and let's say you haven't dreamt in the past, would you all of a sudden, with the intention before you go to sleep to remember your dream, would you be able to say, wait a second, I did have a dream last night and
Right?
remember it, because you're teaching your brain to just be more aware of maybe something that you didn't pay attention to subconsciously before.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's interesting.
And also what I have found is when, so for example, people will come up to me and ask, we'll start talking about dreams, and I hear it so often, oh, I don't remember my dreams, I don't dream. But we'll have a discussion about dreams, and I get a phone call like 9 out of 10 times. First thing the next morning, you're not going to believe what happened. I remembered a dream. And part of it is just bringing attention to the fact that I'm kind of interested in this. I want to see what, I mean, there's no harm, right? And just let's play. And all of a sudden, it's like soul responds and they remember a dream. And so part of it is, paying attention to it. Part of it is the setting the intention, like you said, and just having that desire to want to find out, well, what else could I be learning about me or my life that could make everything better?
Mhm.
Incorporating that. And so people start remembering their dreams. It's
I
really
love
fun
that.
to watch.
What was that?
It's just really fun to watch the
Oh,
the process for people.
you know what word I love that you just said?
Hmm.
Play.
Oh, yes.
Because a lot of people, you stop playing, you stop imagining, you stop all that stuff. And if you can think about dream work as a creative side of yourself, where you do kind of take some of the stuff from your dreams and bring it in a waking life, which really sounds intriguing to me that you said that, because I'm like, oh wow, that was week 3. That's really good. That just sounds really good because I've never taken it to that level before.
Mm,
And so that's a new thing for me, to think of it in that way, you know. But yeah, I love that.
Sometimes and I'm very deeply connected to the dream world, right? I'm part of the Association for the Study of Dreams. And I mean, I know so many brilliant dream workers. And um, there are a lot of people who create from their dreams. There's artists, there are sculptors, there are, I mean, inventions aside, and all the things that we do know, about dreams over time and all the differences that they've made throughout history, just the idea of drawing a dream. So if I have a really big dream, Jen, like one that if it's a big dream, right? It just, you feel it. And when I have a strong image, I will draw, and I kind of draw like a 5-year-old, and it's not a gift of mine, but I'll do that because it connects me. Again, it's like the journaling. I love journaling by hand because something different happens between the brain and the hand that as you're writing. And the same is true for the drawing. So you're activating different parts of the brain, and you're also awakening this little inner child who goes, "Oh yeah, remember me? I'm part of that authentic self too."
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's very fun.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
know, and I'm glad that you touched on that too, because there have been a lot of things in our world that have come from dreams.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't one of the Beatles songs written
Yes.
from a
Yes.
dream, right?
The song Yesterday came to Paul McCartney in a dream and became one of the most iconic songs on the planet.
See, that's
And
just crazy. That gives me goosebumps. Like,
right?
and so if you can get really good at dreams, and like you said, you attach it to your soul.
Mhm.
Like, you might get
Yes,
downloads for stories that need to happen in the world, but you have to be receptive to that. If you're
absolutely. I love
closed
that.
off to it,
Mhm.
then you're not going to receive it. So
Right.
I love the fact that you're teaching women to just open up and just be
Mhm.
curious
Right.
as a first step, to see like, let's just see what happens.
I was
Like,
just gonna say that is the first principle of dream tracking is is engage your curiosity. It's all about just, we do, as the older we get, it's easier to move into analyzing and judging. But if we can move or stay in just notice and be curious, right? The doors stay open. So we have more of an ability to expand than we do to contract with, analyzing stuff and, well, that can't be. And curiosity is key, not only to dream work, but just to life, I think, right? That's what keeps everything exciting and interesting, is not always knowing.
hmm I know. I mean, that's one of the
Mhm.
things that I like to focus on too with women is
Yeah.
if you're changing, that's a good thing. And changing though requires you to be curious about, wait,
Yes.
what do I want to learn? What do I want to do next? Where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? Like, if you're
Yeah.
not curious about that kind of stuff, then you're just kind of getting stuck, and then you're not really fully living in your life and being, playful in life to
Right.
discover who, let's change, let's grow, let's be creative and see where it takes us. You might
See
be
where it takes
a
us.
totally different person in a few years. And I feel like it's exciting, it's fun. It's more fun than just being stagnant.
Absolutely. And it helps keep the magical part of life alive,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm,
I think that soul craves that,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And then just, I'll give you a testimonial because we've had conversations about dreams before, you and I. And I just wanted to say that I feel like you are such a great listener and you really listen to the whole story. That you ask great questions behind, like, okay, so let's see what that means, because if you have a dream about an alligator, it doesn't necessarily mean the same thing for every person. It depends
Right.
on what's going on in your life and
Mhm.
why you might be putting the symbolism of an alligator into your dreams. And so I just want to tell people, if you
Thank you.
there is no black and white as far as dream goes, and Bambi has a great way of personalizing and really kind of like coaching you through trying to figure out what your dreams actually mean and how to apply it in your waking life.
Understanding our own dream imagery really helps us understand us better,
Yeah, which is
right?
so great. Like,
It's the
we should,
point.
yeah, I mean, we should always be trying to rediscover us.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I love so much. Well, I have no doubt that anyone who takes your class is going to be richly blessed by it.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, and I just wanted to do this podcast with you so that we could get, if ladies are kind of on the fence, like, what is this all about? They could watch this and be like, oh, this actually sounds really amazing. I really need this right now, and feel a tugging to register for your class.
Oh, thank you, Jen. I
So when
really
does it
appreciate
start? It
that.
starts Tuesday, right?
It's actually starting this Tuesday, so it's four.
Awesome.
I know it's coming quickly, but it's 4 Tuesdays for an hour and a half, and
Okay,
I
what
I've
time is it
per 4 p.m. Pacific time to 5:30.
at?
And
Okay.
I purposely kept it short because, again, we don't need another project, a plan, whatever, right? This is about ease
Mhm.
and gentle shifts and listening. So I wanted to keep it also not a whole lot of time. We're, so we'll squeeze a lot into that hour and a half, and then work on things on our own in between.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having this conversation with me, because I love
Oh,
learning more about you and just your heart and what your vision is for helping women. So we're both kind of
thank
in that
you.
same realm, and I'm sure we'll do things in the future, summits or
I have no doubt, Jen. We're very aligned for sure.
yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Bambi, and I hope
Thank
everybody,
you. Thank you for
yeah,
the opportunity to talk with you and to share with your audience. I appreciate it.
yeah, and I hope that everybody enjoyed getting to know Bambi a little bit better and follows her on Instagram and Facebook, because you always have great videos out there all the
Mm.
time, and women can totally follow you and be inspired all the time by how to make their dreams work in their life.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks so much, Bambi.
Thank you, Jen.